Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes every single damn time and subscribe if you are new. This is your Chelsea must-do list in the January transfer window. There's so much to get done. Happy New Year to all of you people as well. Hope you've enjoyed your celebrations. But this is business. This is business. Chelsea are in a position. I was going to do a 2023 review, but it leaves us in like 13th, 14th in the table. You already know what it is. Let's not start the year on a downer. There's so much business that could be done this month, but let me reverse this back to 2023, that winter window, and how much we got done and how much that caused issues in terms of the squad size in the latter part of that season, right? We had incomings of Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, Badiashile, Madueke, Gusto, who obviously then subsequently joined in the summer. We had Santos, we had Fofana, we had Felix, and we had Stellina in goal. Felix was of course on loan. And the outgoings were Jorginho and the other two loanees. Santos stayed where he was and Gusto stayed where he was. Now, for me personally, doing too much is going to be a problem again if we say that, oh, we need a centre-back, and we need a goalkeeper, and we need a striker, and we need a centre-mid, and we need another winger, and let's try and ship Sterling to Saudi. And no, too much is too many issues, too many problems. Do very minimal changes, very subtle, which could be significant changes. Now for me, goalkeeper situation, to go into it, Sanchez and Petrovic, just leave it as it is. Petrovic is doing a job at the moment. He's been confident, he's been simplistic, but in a good way. He's doing his job. Sanchez, when he comes back, again, he's not an awful goalkeeper. I think since Petrovic's come into the team, people have like maybe overblown how bad Sanchez is. But one thing Sanchez is not is consistent. He's unpredictable. In a game where he could have a good game, he could make big saves like he's done in previous matches, but then he'll have a wobble or multiple wobbles. So he's not sturdy, he's not world class, he's not the level needed for a top first choice keeper. But again, we get to the summer, right? In terms of the defence, I've seen us linked with centre-backs in this window from Nice. Now, for me personally, first of all, Radcliffe is going to Manchester United as a minority stakeholder, right? And he's going to go on a footballing level in terms of sporting director. They're going to have a reshuffle in terms of their recruitment strategy and everything that could see Ten Hag lose his job. Why would Radcliffe sell one of Nice's best centre-backs to a competitor in Chelsea when he's about to take over at Manchester United, who need centre-backs, who need an alternative to Varane, who picks up the injury and you know, sometimes wants to be left out tactically, but you know, that's Ten Hag's job probably on the line anyway. Martinez has got a big injury. Outside of those two, your Maguires, your Lindelofs. It's not like Manchester United have abundance of quality at centre-back. So why would they not just try and control that transaction and send him to where they are going to currently situate? Doesn't make any sense for me. So, but if that link becomes stronger, we'll talk about it. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. We, from a numerical standpoint, have too many defenders. Chalobah's injured. That takes it to 6 centre-backs, without including Alfie, who a lot of people are like loving right now, who just came into the side for his debut. And obviously Maatsen makes it 3 left-backs when you should really only have 2, even though he's not playing there. We've got 2 right-backs. We've got 6 centre-backs. If you get rid of Chalobah, which you would think that we would try, obviously he's got injuries. That's pure profit. And obviously Maatsen's not playing anyway in his favoured position, and he's not going to be the level of winger that is going to be able to or should trump a Madueke or especially Mudryk, considering their prices and the recruitment team having to bring them in last January. So Maatsen hasn't really got a place. Poch doesn't want to use him in his natural position, and Chalobah is too far down the depth chart. So move on both of them. You bring in your pure profit. You bring your numbers down. That still leaves you with Badiashile, Colwell, Desassi, Fofana, who's out injured, and Silva. Silva will go at the end of the season. That will take you back down to 4. But you can bring in a centre-back in the summer. You don't have to bring in one now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to have a bloated squad again. I don't want to have too many players on the books. We play with 2 centre-backs. Cole will play sometimes left-back. You've got 5 options when everyone's fit. You've got 4 currently because Fofana's out. That's enough. That is enough. We don't play European football. And even if you do have injury issues, people are happy to see Alfie at the moment. And I'm sure that would probably, you know, again, Humphreys, who had a good pre-season, who's on loan at the moment in the Championship, that would potentially apply to him. Now, you're going to say, you know, academy bias. No problem shipping on academy players that are not the level or not the standard. I'm only interested in keeping the elite ones. That's why we're going to get to the strikers in a minute with Broja. But let's not waste money or spend a lot of money on squad players, which is what we've seemingly done with Disasi, right? Who cost us, what, £38 million? Now I'm hearing reports that we could be trying to replace him and bring in a different French centre-back because we've made an error, a mistake. Don't rush your work. Take your time, assess these people over at least a year, right? And then come to your conclusions. If this manager will even be in charge for the summer, before you start making rash, judgments on who fits and who doesn't for his system. So for me, do very little. If anything, it's just the coaching. It's just the instructions. It's the minor details, the finer details in that defence, on the set pieces, on the crossing, in open play, on all of these things, on the structure of the team. That is what's going to make the biggest difference to our defensive record, more than bringing in players from overseas that will need time to potentially acclimatise and adapt to the Premier League anyway from League One. So even though there are some talents out there, and we've been linked with another defender in Sporting Lisbon, I'm going to wait for these to become serious links. But again, I would leave things well enough alone in defence. We have enough bodies, and we do have enough quality, in my opinion, there if we actually just get our structure right. Defence is all about partnerships and consistency and having some sort of, chemistry with your centre-back partner, which we don't have because we constantly keep chopping and changing, right? And the second thing is structure. The defence can only be as good as its structure. We've seen Man City even leak goals when they've been really open or caught on transition. Any defender can look poor or can look average if they don't have a structure and a template to work with, and if it's too open and if it's too messy. So we need to fix that. So defence I wouldn't touch. I'd make sales on those pure profits because they're not going to play, and we move on. We shrink that squad size down. We bring the money in. Then in midfield, people have been speaking about, again, bringing in a 6, which I find embarrassing for us. I think it's something to reflect on. We've brought in Lavia, right? We're not seeing him. Okachukwu's now injured as well. Because those two players are struggling with injuries, for me, you recruit Andre Santos from Forest and you use him. Just use him, even if he's on the bench. Alex Matisse isn't coming on, so have Andre Santos on the bench. I know he's not the tallest. I know he's not going to add to our set-piece threat in both boxes, but he was really good in pre-season. He was really quite press-resistant, quite technical, quite reliable from what I saw, and he can help us in midfield. He can add a body for a game against Middlesbrough in the Cup over the 2 legs, etc. So I'd bring Andre Santos back and let him come back into that team and let him show his potential and his worth and try and get his market value up. Even if he's a player that's not going to end up staying or end up having a long Chelsea career because we've just stockpiled too many young players and he's going to get sold for above his book value, at least get that value up. At least let him showcase his talents in the league so he can you potentially work and move later on down the line. Right now, all you've done is, the player's value went up in the Under-20 World Cup for Brazil. That Nottingham Forest loan has only brought the value down. It's not certainly pushed it up. He's not played. He's not even featured off the bench. So we need to get his market value up anyway. So for me, I'd wait to loan him. Go and acquire a Portuguese club in the multi-club model as the season progresses, and then next summer you can take a look at a proper loan for him. Don't rush another loan, send him out any old place, and then have him waste a whole year. We need midfielders. We don't have any midfielders. Our midfielders are looking injury prone. So that's another thing. In the winger department, and also, can I just stress on the defence, I would be very much hoping that we are searching and scouting for a left back for the summer, because the same type of balance that Reece James, when he's fit, and gusto has been given us going forward and defensively, and inverting and overlapping, I need that same balance on the left-hand side. And so far, I'm not seeing either of Chilwell, who's massively injury-prone, and Cucurella, who we know can't go forward. I'm not seeing that balance on that side. I want a left-back over there who maybe has the height so they can complement what we don't have in midfield, who can go forward, who can overlap, who can underlap, who can invert. I want someone who can do it all, defend and attack. I want balance. So scout that left-back. I think that's probably the next most important position after striker, so we can get Colwell back into centre-back. But that's probably going to be some scouting, unless this market has something special. Midfield, we've spoken about. And reject all bids for Gallagher. Reject all bids for Gallagher. People, listen, I'm not the one that was flying the Gallagher flag, but you've got to reflect sometimes. You've got to hold your hands up and say someone proved you wrong. And that's exactly what I've done. And more importantly, he's been our best midfielder. Even if you don't like him, the stats show that, and for me, the eye test shows that as well, in terms of he's been press resistant, he's played his progressive passes, he's got his assists, he's carried the ball, he's made the right decisions, he's won an incredible amount of tackles and interceptions, but also he's stayed fit. We have so many injuries in midfield. Do not get rid of one of the only durable players that can keep themselves fit and has worn the armband as well in a team that struggles for leadership. I don't think he should be captain. I don't think he's not ready to be captain for me. However, we have a shortage of leaders, so he's had to be captain, and at least he's performed. So he's not perfect, but don't sell someone that's incredibly important to the manager that you're working with, and someone who is durable and has been performing to a level. So don't sell him. Reject all bids, right? I don't want to hear 40 million, 50 million to Tottenham. Please, don't be stupid. Moving on, the wide players, leave it as it is. You got Palmer, you got Madueke, you got Sterling, you got Mudryk. You've got balance between youth and experience. Sometimes that experience counts, sometimes it clearly doesn't. Sterling, you've got work to be done to get back into the team, because Madueke's performed in the last couple of games. Mudryk has been improving, and Palmer, we already know what he does. But that's balance. That's 2 for each side. 2 in Sterling and Palmer that can play both flanks, because Palmer played left wing for City, and obviously Mudryk on the left and Madueke on the right. You've got perfect balance and harmony there. Keep developing them. Keep showing them the ropes. We move to the summer with those 4. And up front, we know Jackson's going to AFCON. We're going to need to sign a striker in this window. I've seen links to Osimhen. He's impossible to do in January, so people are talking about the summer. We need a striker now, because Jackson is going to AFCON, but even when he comes back, he shouldn't be the only option. I haven't been particularly impressed with Broja. I like Broja. He's coming off an injury. I know that this is harsh, but we need to bring in a striker and not finish the season with Jackson and Broja as our only 2 options. We need an experienced striker, and we're going to have a video next after this, later on, further on in the week, where I go through those striker options. But this is just a to-do list. We need to get a striker. Don't rely upon Broja, okay? If Broja wants to stay here and be a 3rd choice, no problem. If you want to leave because we brought in a striker, no problem. We have a lot of young players already. Datra Fofana, Washington, our Jamaican brother Richards. We have so many young strikers, right? We do not need to have any more. We need experience, and we need someone who can offer something different, put the ball in the back of the net, aerial ability. So Broja, if he has to be sacrificed, he has to be sacrificed. We sell him, we get our pure profit, we keep it moving. So for me, that's what I would do. You sell Maatsen if a good bid comes in. You sell Chalobah if he gets himself fit and a good bid comes in. You keep Gallagher, you bring in a striker, and you sell Broja if he wants to go and a good bid comes in. There's 4 outgoings there. There's 1 incoming. I'd like a left back, but Kukure and Chilwell are injured on high wages. They're not going to move in January, and I don't want a bloated squad and 3 left backs. That's what you get done. That's my to-do list. You let me know what yours is in the comments down below, and you recall Santos. Don't forget that. You let me know what yours is in the comments down below. What is your to-do list? Mine is minimal. I don't want a repeat of last January. Sometimes too much is a bad thing. So big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.